Good job.
I'm good.
Morning, everybody. Do we have communications there in Carson City if needed?
We're ready, sir.
All right, we ready here? Let's call the order the State of Nevada Board of Examiners meeting scheduled for today, August 13, 2024 at 10 a.m. And we'll kick it off with the roll call. Stevenson,
Governor Lombardo,
present.
Secretary Aguilar,
Here.
let the record reflect that Attorney General Ford is absent.
Okay,
And we have a quorum.
well, two people.
Yep.
All right, we'll move on to agenda item number 2, the first opportunity for public comment. First public comment period is limited to comments on items on the agenda. No action may be taken upon a matter raised upon under this public comment period unless the matter itself has been specifically included on the agenda as an action item. I will impose a 3-minute time limit to public comment. Public comments may be provided in person or via telephone. The phone number being 775-321-6111. And additionally, 702-329-3435. The ID number in order to access is 954-689-344#. We have any public comment there in Carson City?
I see no public comment, Governor.
Do we have any public comment here in Las Vegas? Anybody on the phone? All right, we will close agenda item number 2, move to agenda item number 3, approval of the June 11th, 2024 meeting minutes for possible action. Do we have any questions or concerns, Mr. Aguilar?
No motion to approve?
All right, we have a motion for approval. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion passes. All right, move on to agenda item number 4, state vehicle purchases, leases for possible action. Ms. Stevenson.
Thank you, sir. There's one request under agenda item number 4. The Department of Administration Fleet Services Division requests approval to purchase 5 replacement vehicles for a total amount not to exceed $370,609. Are there any questions on this item?
No questions.
Hold on, I have questions because my book isn't accurate. I have 2 vehicles and 6 vehicles. What is the posted agenda say?
I'm going to give you this one. That's the name.
All right, it's working good. It's just the narrative's off. All right. All right, speak, any questions, Mr. Aguilar?
Nope. Motion to approve?
You have a motion for approval. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thanks for that clarification there. And my book is completely out of order now. All right. We'll move on to agenda. We're correct, right? I'm sorry. No, it's all right. The agenda is correct. I can fix it with the book narrative. We'll move on to agenda item number 5, authorization for an emergency contract with current and or former state employees for possible action. We have 2 separate ones. We'll take them as one item, read separately.
Read separately?
Yeah.
There are 2 requests under this agenda item. The first request is from the Department of Transportation pursuant to NRS 333.705 subsection 4. The department seeks a favorable recommendation regarding its determination to use the emergency provision to contract with former employee Michelle Austin to provide design, mounting, and printing services on a part-time basis through Manpower. The second request is also from the Department of Transportation pursuant to NRS 333.705 subsection 4. The department seeks a favorable recommendation regarding its determination to use the emergency provision to contract with former employee Baron Lauterbach to also provide design, mounting, and printing services on a part-time basis through Manpower. Are there any questions on these items?
Do you have any questions?
No question.
You want to stab at a motion there for
Mo-
approval?
Motion to approve the authorization for an emergency contract with current and or former city employees under A and B.
All right, we have a motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion passes. All right, we move on to agenda item number 6, authorization to contract with their current and or former state employee for possible action.
Thank you, sir. Pursuant to NRS 333.705 subsection 1, the Board of Pharmacy requests authority to contract with former employee Ryan Miller to provide training services on a part-time basis through Timberwolf LLC. Are there any questions on this item?
Any questions?
No questions.
All right, I'll entertain a motion for approval.
Motion to approve the authorization to contract with current or former employee for the State Board of Pharmacy.
All right, we have a motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Request for that, we'll move on to agenda item number 7, request for the allocation and disbursement of funds for salary adjustments for possible actions. And we'll read them individually unless you want a separate motion on each one.
No, we can do it all together.
We'll read them individually and then we'll take a full motion.
Do you want them read as is, or I have a summary if you would like the summary names?
Summary's fine.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Before we go, do you have any questions? You already have pre-designed? No? Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, sir. There are 28 requests under this agenda item. The 2023 legislature through Assembly Bill 522 made appropriations from the general fund and the highway fund, the Board of Examiners to meet salary deficiencies that may be created between the appropriated money of the state's respective departments, commissions, and agencies, and the salary requirements for the personnel of those departments, commissions, and agencies. Requests A through N relate to salary increases. Requests O through BB relate to the plan to encourage continuity of services. The total dollar request for all 28 agenda items is $7,765,744.31. Are there any questions on any of these items?
Question. Record Governor Lombardo, item K, Office of the Attorney General. I just want to confirm, since those numbers changed from the previous edition, is that correct now?
Yes, that is
Okay.
correct.
All right. Any questions, Mr. Aguilar?
Nope. Motion to approve an allocation disbursement of funds for salary adjustments A through BB. In the amount of $7 million.
$765,000.
You said BB. The CCM.
I don't have to see.
No.
Okay, there's some maybe I do have the old one.
Yeah, that's the only here that
Can you give me that right?
No, then you're good.
no, he needs the total amount.
Oh, $7,765,744.31.
We'll go ahead and repeat that.
Yeah, motion to approve the allocation of disbursement of funds for salary adjustments A through BB in the amount of $7,765,744.31.
Okay, very good. So we have a motion for approval. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. We'll move on to agenda item number 8, request of approval to pay a tort claim from the tort claim fund pursuant to NRS 41.036 for possible action.
Thank you, sir. Pursuant to NRS 41.036, the Office of the Attorney General submits the following tort claims request for approval. Claimant Charlotte Burton, Thayer Burton, and the estate of Thayer Joseph Burton. Claim number T as in Tom, C as in Charlie, 21114. Settlement amount is $975,000. Data loss is May 15th, 2018. Are there any questions on this item?
Have any questions?
No questions.
Okay, motion for approval.
Motion to approve the tort claim for claim number TC 21114 in the amount of $975,000.
We have a motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. We'll move on to agenda item number 9, request for reimbursements from the statutory contingency account for possible action.
Pursuant to NRS 298.710, the Secretary of State's office requests the board's approval for an allocation of $1,333,707 from the statutory contingency account to reimburse the cost of the presidential preference primary election. Are there any questions on this item?
Question is just, I can make a motion and vote on it, right?
Yes, since it's generally within your offices and doesn't benefit you personally.
Or just to eliminating it, I'll make the motion. Okay. So I make a motion for approval of the request for reimbursement from the statutory contingency account via the Secretary of State's office in the amount of $1,333,707. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Item number 10, approval of proposed leases for possible action. Mrs. Stevens.
Thank you, sir. There are 3 leases under agenda item number 10 for the approval by the board. I would like to note that lease number 1 has been revised from the information on the agenda. The term end date has been revised from December 31st, 2025 to December 31st, 2024. And the total amount has been revised from $1,641,222 to $534,916.80. So it went from 2 years to 1 year and then half the price.
Okay, do you need those numbers repeated?
I got $534,916.80.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Any further questions? Comments?
No.
All right. Is this an action item?
Yes, these are all leases.
Yeah, leases. So I undertake a motion for
Motion to approve proposed leases 1, 2, and 3, with number 1 being revised to $534,916.80.
we have a motion for approval. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion passes. We'll move on to agenda item number 11, approval of proposed contracts for possible action. Ms. Stevenson.
Thank you, sir. There are 52 contracts under agenda item number 11 for approval by the board today. Are there any questions on any of these contracts?
I have a couple. So for the record, Governor Lombardo, so under contract number 3, Secretary of State's office, Secretary of State, is that the ballot tracks software?
It is.
That is?
Yes. All issues have been resolved with the vendor.
Okay. And then under number 49, Department of Employment Training, Rehabilitation and Employment Security Special Fund. So I see I got Chris Sewell here, Director. Chris, can you respond to the fact, is this the AI functionality?
Yes, it is, sir.
Can you walk me through that?
Sure. We've been working with Google for the last year on using AI to write our decisions in our appeals. Normally, an appeals hearing can last anywhere from an hour to 3 or 4 hours, and writing the decision can last a minimum of 1 hour or more, depending on how complex this is. Working with Google AI, we can send Google a transcript of the hearing, and Google can then take that transcript and write a decision within 5 minutes using AI. And then that decision will be sent back to the hearing officer for review. And this is extremely important. AI will be writing the decision, but it will be reviewed by a hearing officer before any decision is going out. There will be a human looking at that decision, making sure it is correct and making sure that all the facts are in the decision. And then that hearing officer can make any adjustments and then eventually sign off on that decision. So it's actually going to cut down the amount of time it takes for our appeals hearing officers enormously on getting done with the hearing. This is also going to improve other areas of the state. I've talked with Tim Galuzzi, and he's very interested in using it in other areas. Another division in Dieter is also interested in using AI to set up issues with medical determinations and getting those all put together. So this is a game changer, not only for Dieter and the citizens of Nevada, but long term, this is cutting edge technology for the state. And we've been working diligently for about a year on making sure it's correct. We have policies in place that to make sure that no decision, nothing goes out unless it's reviewed by a human. And this is what they call a frozen system, meaning when you use, ChatGPT, for example, it goes out on the web, gathers all the information and brings it back in and answers your question. This is a frozen system. So when we send something to Google AI, it's completely segregated and it's totally fenced off from anything. We've made sure of that. We have our protocols in place for that. And then it will take what we teach it. And we've been going through this for the last year, as I said, and then give us an answer back. And we've been using our old hearings as test cases, and those have been coming back well above 99% accuracy. And so now we're ready to take the next step, sign the contract, and get this going for the state.
Very good. Any questions, sir? Striker?
No questions. Congratulations.
All right, no further questions. I'll entertain a motion for approval.
Motion to approve the 52 contracts as presented.
We have a motion for approval. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate that. All right, we'll move on to agenda item number 12, approval of proposed master service agreements for possible action.
Thank you, sir. There are 12 master service agreements under agenda item number 12 for the approval by the board today. Are there any questions on any of these master service agreements?
No questions. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve master service agreements as presented 1 through 7. Oh, 1 through 12, sorry.
All right, we have a motion for approval. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. And now we move on to item number 13, information item only, presented by the clerk of the board of contracts.
Thank you, sir. There are 80 contracts over $10,000 and under the $100,000 threshold that were approved by the clerk of the board between June 12th, 2024, July 16th, 2024. This item is informational. Are there any questions on any of the contracts?
No questions.
No, I don't need to identify. No questions. Thank you. If there's no further, we'll move on to agenda item number 14, information item reports. Ms. Stevenson.
Thank you, sir. There are 2 reports under agenda item number 14. The first report is from the Governor's Finance Office, Budget Division. Pursuant to NRS Chapter 353, the Governor's Finance Office Budget Division presents a reconciled fund balance report for the Court Claim Fund, Statutory Contingency Account, Stale Claims Account, Emergency Account, Disaster Relief Account, and the IFC Contingency Fund as of July 19th, 2024. Below is the available balance, or the available balance for each account is prior to any projected outstanding claims. Tort Claim Fund is $1,584,502.70. Statutory Contingency Account is $3,955,493.72. Stale Claims Account is $3,754,420.78. Emergency Account is $500,000. Disaster Relief Account is $12,406,726.22. IFC Contingency Unrestricted General Fund is $13,177,831.03. IFC Contingency Unrestricted Highway Fund is $1,184,685.35. IFC Contingency Restricted General Fund is $129,396,724. IFC Contingency Restricted Highway is Highway Fund is $19,142,217, and the Extradition Coordinator Budget Account is $20,215.11. Are there any questions on this report? There's one other report.
No question.
So, for the record, Governor Barros, Ms. Stevenson, the, wildfire prevention and or remediation or response, is that coming out of the disaster relief account?
It's coming out of, I can get you specifics on it, but it's actually coming out of a few different ones.
It does.
Yes, more than,
So you said this is not adjusted with current approvals and or recent?
correct. This is as of July 19th, and then anything approved today will be taken off of these balances.
Right, so, and we haven't received the recent billings associated with the recent responses to the
Correct.
wildfire, correct?
Correct.
Okay,
But I can get you an update, sir.
no, that's fine.
Okay,
I'll give the, emergency management sections.
perfect.
Right. That was just on 14A, correct?
Correct.
All right, any questions there? Okay, move on to 14B.
The second report is from the Department of Motor Vehicles pursuant to NRS 482.1825 subsection 2. The department shall certify to the Board of Examiners the amount of the voluntary contributions collected for each county by the department and its agents, and that the money has been distributed as provided in statute. The submittal reports program activities by month for the fourth quarter of fiscal year 2024 for the period beginning April 1st, 2024 and ending June 30th, 2024. Are there any questions on this report?
Any questions?
No question.
Hearing none. Thank you.
I have an informational question.
Okay,
Sure.
This is random, but
is he allowed to give me a random?
I think that's to, I guess, a contract with NDOT
Mhm.
and the reconstruction of the 15. You know, it was closed for 2 weekends in a row. They said they weren't able to complete the work on the second weekend. Are there penalty clauses in that for them unable to prevent the work? Because I understand they have to now close the freeway again.
That wasn't, are you asking if the penalty clauses towards NDOT?
No, towards the contractor who is responsible for the job.
Right, because there was insufficient supply.
I'd
So,
have to find out. I'd have to look at their specific contract, but I know.
I just wondered. That's obviously a burden on a significant number of folks.
I will get back to that.
Thank you.
anything else?
Nope, that's it. Thank you.
All right, we'll move to the item 15, the second opportunity for public comment. You can make your comments 3 minutes. Do we have any public comment there in Carson City?
No, Governor.
Do we have any public comment here in Las Vegas? Sure.
Somebody ever.
All right, then, anything online or the phone? We'll
No,
make the
sir.
motion. We'll close, public comment and move for adjournment.
Okay, good adjourn.
We have a motion for adjournment. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. That's for the meetings today.
Thank you.
So when I get that, they're all just.
Chris, how long was that?
Big one.
We've been working with them last year.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
About 6 years.
It's what you want.